Hello and welcome to Don We Now, My Gay Opinions. I'm Donnie, and these are my gay opinions on the movie One Royal Holiday on Hallmark. We start this movie with Broadway legend Laura Osnes as a hospital nurse and also the daughter of an innkeeper in Connecticut or something. I know this fact because she said it, but also because all the shopkeepers she comes in contact with are jealous that she'll be spending Christmas there. There's not one person that doesn't say, Canterbury Inn, I'm jealous. So she's on her way, but a storm is brewing. It's all over the news. Drive safe! Prince of some European country, played by Broadway legend Aaron Tveit, is also in the area, and he stops at Donnie's Donuts for an English tea. He was in Boston giving a speech with his mother and chief of staff, but is headed back to spend Christmas in his own country, in the comfort of his own palace and around his people. But while at Donnie's Donuts, they find out that the airport has canceled all flights because of the big storm. Luckily, Laura Osnes is there getting a cruller or something. So she tells them, oh, you're stuck? You can spend the night at Canterbury Inn. My family owns it. The prince is hesitant, but the queen is all about it. She loves hobnobbing with the common folk. So that seems to be the theme of the full evening. The queen is loving everything that they have planned for Christmas, where the prince is just, nervous to enter rooms, and he's still stressing about the speech he has to give on Christmas Eve in his own country because he hasn't really found himself. This used to be his father's job, but the father has passed. So now this is the second speech he's given in his royalty career, and he really effed up the first one, so he's trying to make amends with this one. So he has a lot on his plate. So the next morning, the prince wakes up ready to hit the road and get out of this little town. Unfortunately for him, the storm has brewed again. However, it's perfect timing because the Christmas parade is tonight. So now the royalty gets to spend time being charmed by this small little town. Meanwhile, the mayor of the town, who is Laura Osnes' best friend from high school, is starting to catch feelings for the royal advisor. And Laura Osnes tells her, hey, they're going back soon. This is not a good idea. And the mayor says, they also said that a woman mayor wasn't a good idea. And look at me now. I understand the sentiment of what they're trying to do here, but who said anything about love or trying to make a long-distance relationship last? What if Miss Mayor was just trying to get her stocking stuffed, and now Miss Osnes is sock blocking? But truly, who said anything about love, little Laura? So Laura and the prince are also starting to slowly fall for each other. And she tells him, why don't you let your people see this side of you? Charming and down to earth instead of a stick up your ass. She doesn't say that. And he's like, oh yeah, good idea. So the next morning, they're snowed in again. And the prince is really stressed. He's like, we have to get back to the palace. We have lunch with the parliament, and we have all these boring Christmas traditions that they have to do at the palace. He's like, it's the opposite of Christmas here. And then Laura says, it doesn't have to be. Meaning, you can make Christmas at the palace fun and festive. Not meaning we're gonna do your boring shit here. Canterbury knows what we're doing on the holidays, honey. So then the mayor busts in with terrible news. The roof collapsed on the place where they normally have the Christmas Eve pajama ball. So Laura Osnes is freaking out. She's like, it was mom's favorite tradition. What are we gonna do? So the father suggests, why don't we have it at the inn? And everyone's like, great idea. And then for some reason they're like, the inn seems too fancy for pajamas. Meanwhile, they're all in pajamas now, but whatever, it is what it is. Why don't we have a dressy gala event instead? And Laura Osnes says, no, that's not what mom would have wanted. She loved the tradition of pajamas. And the father's like, no, she didn't. She just did that because you were a little bitch when you were a kid and you wouldn't put on a dress. So instead of trying to make you wear a dress, she just made everyone else wear pajamas. The privilege, Laura. This whole town had to stop dressing up because your little ass wouldn't put on a dress. Get the frick out of here. So they stay one more day again, and Laura is up to her bullshit once more, and she tells the mayor, I see you getting close with the royal advisor, and you just can't make it work. First of all, literally nobody asked you. Mind your business. And second, we'll be all right. So then the mayor says, kind of that. And she's like, we can make it work. And just so you know, you and the prince could as well. And Laura's like, what? the prince! Yes, everybody sees it, the prince. So then they all go Christmas caroling throughout the town. And I will just say it, only Broadway actors should be cast in these films. Being able to have your actors sing a Christmas carol makes it so much better. So they come back high as all heavens after singing Christmas carols that just filled their spirits, and Laura is about to tell the prince how she feels and give him a little mistletoe kiss. But then he receives a call from the palace. So she's like, answer it, go ahead. And I was screaming, don't answer it. Because in movies like this, it always is bad news. And then she will not tell him what she was gonna tell him. But he answers, and sure enough, it was bad news. Tabloids have gotten photos of him in this little town and said that he abandoned his country at Christmas time. Because he's stressed out about this, she decides not to tell him that she loves him. So the next morning, the royal family leaves and heads back to their country. Laura still has not said anything. She locks herself in her room and peers out of the window like this. When they leave, he sees her, of course, but then she closes the curtains. He has not told her how he feels. They're just leaving on this note. Whatever. We're all grown here, but if this is how you want to act, so be it. So they get back to the castle, and this castle looks like Eureka's castle. It was, I don't know what kind of palace I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It looked like it was filmed in like the middle of a park somewhere. I've never seen anything that looked like this before, and I need to know where they filmed it because I need to stay there for a night. It can't be expensive to rent. It was ridiculous. So while the prince is working on his speech, he finds an old speech of his father's that says that when he was dying in a hospital in Boston, there was one nurse who was really kind to him and stayed up all night with him and held his hand before operations, all of that stuff. And it's Laura Osnes. She was part of the family all along. I don't know the time difference between these two countries, but he gives his speech live in his country and then flies back to Kentsbury to spend Christmas with her and go to the ball. He tells her that she was the nurse for the father. I don't know how she didn't know this before, but I guess she doesn't watch the news and know what kings of other countries look like. I guess I don't know what kings of other countries look like. Yeah, so she's safe. If I don't know, she doesn't have to know. So it ends cute. Okay, so let's do the naughty and the nice. For naughty, let's go with that little castle. Why even put it in there? Just cut to the interior. Why have they literally have like a conversation on the drawbridge or something. It was the strangest thing. And for nice, live singing by people that can actually sing. This isn't a movie that you can't miss, but it's not skippable either. It's somewhere in the middle. Thank you for watching. Tune in tomorrow where we'll be discussing Too Close for Christmas on Lifetime. Bye!